Good evening. Okay, I caught it. Cool. It takes just a second to get this started. Good evening, and thank you all so much for attending our first full wind ensemble concert of the season. We really appreciate it. Last week we had Family Weekend, which we did a preview of tonight's performance, which is also how we just began tonight's performance with Infinity, which is a very fun space exploration, wishing on a shooting star. What do those mean for people and humanity all throughout time? Very lofty, but also very exciting. So the next piece is called the Florentiner March. It's an Italian grand march, technically, but what we found is that it actually really isn't. That it's more of like an operetta that never really was published. So if you don't know much about, like, 19th century Italian opera, you get a little bit of that from the program note, but let me just tell you really quickly. From the 1800s, we get these Italian grand operas with like all these kinds of stock characters. So think back to like Looney Tunes, when you've got certain characters that are fulfilling certain roles, for better or worse, sometimes worse. But like we come to expect that in these operas of this time, that there will be these lords and ladies that are kind of overseeing everything. But what we find is that they're actually not the ones that are in power at all. It's kind of the middle class, sort of this, what we would call servant class, that are really smart and kind of trying to one-up their lords and ladies. And then you get a whole slew of all sorts of other characters. Shenanigans happen, people fall in love, they break each other's hearts. Wild, crazy, it's a very wacky world, this world of Italian opera in the 1800s. So, all that to say, this Italian Grand March that you're about to hear is very much that. You're going to hear this pronouncement at the beginning, and then you're going to kind of hear some chitter-chatter moments of the people and the public, and you'll hear somebody kind of say, hey, what do you think about this? And then the low brass will answer that many times. Low brass, if you do that Marna answer, is that you? How many of you is that? Can you give a little wave? Very good. Cool. So expect that. And yeah, I think you'll really enjoy. This is probably Fučík's most enjoyed march ever. His most famous is the entry of the Gladiators, the so if you didn't know that one, well, I think you did. But yeah, cool. I'm excited to present this to you. I think it's very fun music. I hope you enjoy the Florentiner March. So thank you for your patience as we do a minor set change there. The set of pieces you are about to hear, first an art song by Robert Schumann. It's a couple minutes long. You can see what it is behind me. It's also in your program. We will be having that art song performed for you. And then please, I'll say this again, but please no applause. You're going to feel the want and need to applaud But what we're doing is we're about to do a fantasia on the theme of Robert Schumann, and you're going to hear that theme first. So it will be sung and performed by our guests, which I will announce in a second. And then we're going to go into this very long exploration of literally what you just heard. So Fantasia on a theme of Robert Schumann is a piece by composer Steve Danyu. And Steve and I have known each other, I met him through most of my teachers. I've known him for maybe about 9 or 10 years. And it's only been recently, especially with this job, that we've been able to work together on a lot of things. And so the Wind Ensemble premiered a piece of his a couple years back. And we were one of the first groups to actually ever perform it. And it's the same with this one, actually. Fantasia, Steve sent me the parts at the end of June, and we're one of many schools that agreed to perform this work, but those performances are happening throughout the year. So you will be some of the first people to experience some of this music. So I wanted to say all of that. Steve wrote a wonderful program note. I highly encourage you, if you haven't, please do read the program note. Read the poem, which is what will be sung. And again, like I said, you will hear the art song performed by a guest vocalist and collaborative pianist. You will want to applaud, but please, for the sake of the moment, we will just kind of sit in that space, go on to perform the Fantasia, and then they're going to come back out at the end, so you'll be able to applaud for them, so don't worry about that. Schumann is wrestling with this idea of rest and unrest. Nacht, maybe it means death. Is there a peace with death? Maybe not. It's complicated, and I think that will come across. One thing I really like about what we're about to do is the piece, there's a chord near the end that is, while he's literally talking about peace and restfulness, it's actually, you will be hearing the most unsettled chord of the whole work. And then that will resolve via the vocalist. And then when we start playing, that's where we will begin, at this moment of what does it actually mean to be at rest? And we'll explore that together. So, without further ado, you may have heard that Tom Clark, we're so very happy for him that he was able to, got a full-time position, was able to win a position, and so we're very happy for him, but sad to see him go, and so we were on the lookout for a voice faculty member to replace him. I mean, he taught literally an army of students. And I'm so happy and thankful, and I think we're extremely fortunate that we found a wonderful, extremely talented voice teacher who is making their debut on the stage tonight. So, and then the collaborative pianist, you know, recognize it a lot. But so if you will please welcome to the stage Jae-hyuk Choi and Tim Pale. So thank you all so much for your patience and holding applause, etc., etc. Now for something exceedingly excitingly different. You might notice this concert has some pacing ups and downs, which, I mean, so too with life we have those. So what you're about to hear is a very exciting arrangement of three of John Williams' best that he's ever done. A couple you might recognize. You might not recognize this tune from Empire of the Sun called Cadillac of the Skies. That's kind of in between what you're about to hear, but I think you will enjoy. Empire of the Sun is it's a pretty sad movie, so if those affect you, maybe think twice, but it's a gorgeous theme that I know you'll enjoy. Of course, the first one is very triumphant, exciting, and then the last one is very, very, very fun. So I hope you will enjoy something a little different. I'm honor bound to tell you, because I've been saying this since before we started rehearsing the music, I can appreciate many titles of music. I don't know why. Soaring with John Williams is just not a title that I appreciate. Now, I know that John Williams wrote a lot of scores that are like soaring through the air with planes and X-Wings and all that stuff, but I don't like this title. Have I told you how much I don't like this title? Yes. Uh-oh. Yeah, so here is some sort of flight. Wait, no, that's a different John Williams. Okay, backtrack, bad plan. This is a John Williams medley arranged by Robert W. Smith. I hope you enjoy. Thank you all so much. As I said, this is a concert of all sorts of ups and downs is not the right word, but you will notice a tonal shift with what we just did and what we're about to do. So we'll take a second and kind of let some of that settle. Ooh, isn't that a really, really nice picture of our campus? You know, there are studies that say the more you look at like dark green hues, especially outside in nature, the more like at peace with yourself. Most people experience that. I can't speak for everyone, but there's science behind it. And so we're about to do something a little different. I promise it's not terribly long. Oh yeah, we're right on time. As if I planned this. Perfect. So I'll appreciate, we're going to kind of shake off all that loud ruckusness. I'll talk a little bit more about the piece that we're going to do. But before we actually move into that piece, the composer who has passed away, we've got a video of a few thoughts that he has about the piece. So more on that soon. First, I wanted to hand the mic over to our Wind Exec President, Ethan Glidden. So if you'll please give it up for Ethan.
Hello. As Doctor said, my name is Ethan Glidden. I'm our Wind Ensemble President this year. I just had a few things throughout the year that I want to tell you about. And starting with, if you missed it up front, we're doing another conducting raffle. Those of you last year might remember David Wright and a very adorable child conducting 2 different pieces throughout the year. And if you want to be next, it's $10 a raffle ticket. Right up front, we'll meet you. Next up, I want to introduce our next concert, which will be November 10th. It is, for those of you who went to our concerts last year, you might remember one of our concerts was a little bit different. And it was a chamber winds concert rather than just a full wind ensemble concert. I'm very happy to say we're going to be doing that again. So this November, please come down and see many of our wonderful players playing in smaller groups, really showing off their skill set. And finally, this Christmas, at Christmas at Monmouth, I'm very happy to welcome any alumni who played in the wind ensemble before to play with us in Russian Christmas music. We'd love to have you. Please get in contact with us. It'd be a blast. Thank you so much.
So please, don't be shy. I would love to see any and every one of you conduct the wind ensemble. You should totally buy those raffle tickets. It's a very fun time. If you don't know how to do this, it's okay. I probably don't either, but we can learn together. So the next piece is by David Meslinka, and many of the ensemble members are aware of David Meslinka and his music. Some are coming to know David Meslinka was a composer who meant a whole lot to me and meant even more than I will ever know to just about all of my teachers. I was very fortunate to briefly study with him and have since spent a lot of time with his music and people around him. I will just say that David had a way of entering into a room, and he was very tall, but with a quiet presence that most people felt immediately. This will kind of come through in the video. You'll hear of him talking about his views on like music and peace. And so that's one of the reasons I always go back to David Meslinka, is that he spent a lot of time thinking about music and these arts that we participate in, and what that experience is for those who make it, those who are in the audience, those who seek it. And musical tone and depth was so important to him. So this piece we're about to do, you're going to hear melodies that likely humans have been hearing for 500 years, 1,000 years, 2,000 years. There's just some way that these notes kind of string together that has helped a lot of people kind of reach them when they needed them. And so I just ask that whatever this piece is to you, I think it will be there to find you, and I hope that you meet it there. I think that's all I've got. So I hope you enjoy our final piece. It's a different way to end a concert. It's heart songs, the first song, quiet song. So we'll hear a couple words from David and then we'll begin. Thank you so much for being here.
I wanted to offer the idea that musical tone is one of the most powerful forces in the world, maybe even the most powerful. We don't tend to think of it that way. But contemplate the idea of musical tone by itself. At the core of each tone is peace. And that is a cumulative function of a piece of music. It creates peace. When people are performing together, they're at peace with themselves and with one another. They're at peace with the community. The community comes and participates in peace. This is the core of what's going to carry us through the current extremely difficult times. I wanted to